I think this might be the first live stream in a very long time. Let me. Whoa. Oh, you're right. I forgot something. Here we go. Okay. I think we're good. Testing. No, that's not it. Testing again. Oh, there we go. I think we got it. All right. I think this might be the first live stream I've done in a while where my hair just happened to be just right as soon as I started. Normally, I have to really futz around with it to see, like, oh, is this strand sticking out here? Well, okay, that part of my hair is a bit all over the place. But to be fair, I walked to and from the gym today, and then I worked out a lot at the gym. So I think I kind of deserve to have a little bit of messiness here and there. No worries. Oh, good. Glad to hear that my microphone is working. Welcome in. Who do we got here? Byron? Not Brian. Byron. Just want to make sure I'm pronouncing that right. Welcome in. I'm still getting used to all these new names, so I apologize if you've been here before and I forgot. Tell me a little bit about yourself. If you can't think of anything, what games do you like, and how'd you find my channel? Those are always the big two that I ask the newbies. Name is Brian. Okay, cool. I'll call you Brian. Very nice. There's someone at the gym named Brian, and for a while I always called him Ryan. So he finally corrected me after all this time. But yeah, welcome in, Brian. Yeah, I'd love to hear stuff that you're interested in. So yeah, like I said, can't think of anything else. Favorite games? How'd you find the channel? Honestly, normally when I do these live streams, I have like this big speech while I'm waiting for people to show up, but you were just like right there. So kudos on you for having your notifications like set up and spot on, because normally I just have such a big monologue that you guys have to interrupt me for. So thank you very much for that. Currently been playing Arc Raiders. I don't know what Arc Raiders is, so I would love to hear about it. Currently at work, but it's slow. Well, don't let me get you in trouble, because I know if I were to do a live stream at any of the previous jobs I had, I would be in big trouble. So if you have to run without saying goodbye, I will completely understand. But yeah, I do not advocate, as much as I like you guys being here, I do not advocate you getting in trouble just to watch me blab. Like, I'm going to be the world's longest running YouTuber. I'll be around. I don't think I'm going to drop dead for a long time. So you guys got time to hear me blab again. Loot extraction. Okay, I'm not sure I know what that means, because when I think of loot extraction, I think of Xenoblade Chronicles X, but I'm pretty sure they're very different games. So you might have to give me a bit more than that to work on. Oh, we got Kateri here. Welcome in, Kateri. Turns out that I misunderstood you at the last live stream. Ty the One Up Guy does have a video all about mobile games. I think maybe your sentence structure just threw me off a bit. But welcome in, Kateri. Any good news lately? Oh, man. So I don't know how many of you have seen this t-shirt, but I got it from one of my viewers. He went to Super Nintendo World, and he asked me if I wanted a souvenir, and he showed me what the options were, and I just said that t-shirt would be great. And so there I go. I get to wear my love of Mario Kart literally on my sleeve, and I'm pretty sure, unless I'm very much mistaken, that this is the Mario Kart 8 render, which is my second favorite in the series. I think I might ever so slightly prefer Mario Kart World, just because I've been warming up to the free roam mode quite a bit lately. Once I stopped trying to look for an objective and I saw it as a way to kill time while waiting for my friends to show up on game chat, it became the perfect time waster, because I'm not even close to getting all the missions and all the Peach medallions and all the question mark panels. Some of them are deviously hard, and I don't pretend to be an expert. But anyway, I have a question for all of you guys, and that's, For those of you that are in the gaming scene, are you going to be watching the Indie World Showcase tomorrow? I can't say I know what time it is for every time zone, but it's 9 a.m. EST. So if you know how to convert that, I would love to hear your thoughts. All right, let's see what. Basically, you go into a map and loot buildings, but at the same time, you have to be aware of these robots called arcs and other players. Okay, if I'm understanding you correctly, that seems a bit like Fortnite, if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember that was kind of a bit of a looter. Not much has happened lately. You passed the inspection. Very nice, Kateri. Okay, very nice. You might have told me that, but it's been a while. So thank you for reminding me. I do hope you're able to use that gym really well because what's the word? I really like going to the gym too. I've been working out pretty regularly ever since May. A couple of people have noticed that my arms have been getting a bit bigger, but I think that's their way to make me feel better. Although personally, if it were up to me, I really wouldn't care about making my arms bigger. The only reason I'm trying to get ever so slightly more muscular is because I figure I it would probably be a good idea to be able to push myself up when I get old. So to just like rely on these string bean arms for the rest of my life probably wouldn't be too healthy. So it's all about preparing for the inevitable, which is that all of us are gonna get older unless we die young, but I don't think I'm gonna die young if some of the prophetic words I've heard from the Lord are any indication. Unless by a really good future, he means like, oh, hey, 7 days from now, you're going to have a good future. But he has said some really interesting things when I've been prayed over lately. Like, one thing God said was, hey, don't expect the future, like, conferences and trips you go on to be exactly the same as, like, CHWC and Steubenville and NCYC. But he said, but I ain't done with you yet. So that makes me think, like, I am probably going to be alive long enough to be able to do something super cool with the youth. But getting back to what I was saying about Indie World, I normally don't like those things at all. The last one, I felt like it was an epic waste of time. But the reason I still watch them is because there was one Indie World that ended with Cadence of Hyrule, which ended up being my number 3 game of 2019. So you never know. You never know. There could be an Indie World that surprises me. Maybe there will be an RZ2, or maybe there will be an update on Deltarune. Like, I'm pumped, and I'm looking forward to, well, I'm not looking forward to anything, but I'm open-minded to something. So, Indie World is a YouTube stream that Nintendo puts on where they talk about independent developers putting games onto the Switch or the Switch 2. A lot of them are probably also multi-platform, so I would imagine most of them are probably going to be on other things as well if you don't have a Switch or Switch 2, but like I I think that's the best way I can think of to describe it. Just a lot of independent games are going to be announced tomorrow. I believe you can figure out the time of it if you just go on any like Nintendo news website. Like Nintendo Life will have the times. Nintendo's Twitter will have it. Can't think of anything else off the top of my head that I follow, but it's really all gonna make or break how much you like indie games. Me personally, I tend to be more on the miss than the hit side of indie games, but the ones that are good, I tend to like really, really like. In fact, I can officially say this to you guys. I'm gonna be super duper cryptic because I don't want to say too much, but there is a strong possibility that I am going to be able to be sent a review code by an independent developer. He reached out to me and he said he's making a game that looks like it's the kind of game that I would probably like. Yes way. Oh, I've had some amazing opportunities, Brian. But this particular one just blew my mind. So he's making again, I don't want to say too much because I don't think he's even made an announcement to like anyone other than his friends, but he showed me a prototype for the game. And even just based on the prototype, I said, that looks amazing. And if it ever comes to Switch or Switch 2, I will play it and I will try to review it for the channel. And he said, oh, well, whenever it comes to Switch or Switch 2, I'll go ahead and give you a review code. But get this. He agreed that even if it doesn't come to Switch or Switch 2, because he's going to put it on Steam first, he's open to the idea of me doing an interview with him on my channel so that I can get people aware of this and say like, hey, I am going to play it. I am probably going to review it, because he says it's not a very hard game. So I will probably be able to review it, because he said something along the lines of like, if you can beat New Super Mario Bros. U, then you can beat this. So there you go. But yeah, like, no, I actually my channel's pretty popular by developer standards. But let me read your comment first, Brian. What do you do when there are no viewers on the live? I pretend like it's one of my regular videos, and I just talk and hope that like if people watch this like after the fact, because you'd be surprised how many of my live streams people will watch like after they've already been streamed to hear like what I said, because there will be a lot of people that'll be like, oh man, I was asleep when you did your live stream, what the heck, and then they'll go ahead and rewatch it. So I might think of like something that they might want to hear that I've been up to. But yeah, I do understand that my live streams are super sporadic, but I am thinking, can't make any promises yet, but I am thinking of making them more regular. I recently put out a poll. If you want to go vote on it, go for it, where I asked you guys like what time you would prefer them to be, and it looks like the majority of you say evening. So I don't know if you'd consider this evening, but it's the best I can do with what I have with my family members. But oh, thank you, Brian. Much appreciated. But to get back to what I was saying, what time zone am I in? EST, or American EST. You probably could have figured that out by the accent. I don't want to say exactly where I live, but I will say I'm in EST. What was I going to say? But yeah, you'd be surprised how many developers like reach out to me and say, hey, we think you'd like this game. Like I put out a video called Advice for Game Developers on making games that I like, and that actually did surprisingly well. Like I was not expecting it to go as great as it did, and like ever since then, and maybe a little bit before then, I've had quite a lot of developers say like, hey, we're willing to, or we're making this game, we think your community will like it. They just make one big problem that makes me wonder if maybe they didn't watch the video all the way through. And that's that almost all of them will always say something along the lines of, oh, well, we can only make it for Steam so far. And I'm like, you guys didn't get to the part of the video where I said I only review games on Nintendo systems? All right. But the most recent developer that reached out to me, she and her team are making a game called Duck Side of the Moon. And yes, I am allowed to reveal that because it is available to download right now on Steam. She said that her team is strongly considering making a Switch version. And she said it was inspired by Little Gator Game, which is a game I reviewed last year and really liked. And she was inspired to reach out to me because she liked my review of the In the Dark DLC. And she just said, hey, we think that you'll like our game because it was inspired by Little Gator Game. But then I told her that I couldn't get past the title screen when I tried downloading it on Steam. So finally, I just put my foot down and I said, from now on, I'm just going to tell developers, don't send me Steam games and don't recommend Steam games unless they have a Switch alternative, which is what I told this other developer. I said, look, I am probably more excited about your game than any game that's been announced this year, but I'm having so much trouble with Steam that I'm just going to wait for it to go on Switch. But he said, hey, I'll give you a copy whenever it comes out on that. So there you go. I can officially say that it's not sponsored. No money is being passed between hands, but it is probably going to come at some point. But yeah, I'm very grateful that you guys have been really great lately, and the people that have emailed me, except for that guy that tried to spam me, but that's a very long story, have been amazing. I've had so many great interactions with people that I never even knew liked my channel. I think I've started to realize as I've gotten older that when it comes to admiring channels, a lot of people don't like voicing their true thoughts unless it's either in a live stream or it's in like this very special circumstance. Like maybe, I don't know, if the person gets comfortable enough to get my email, which again, I put my email in my about section so anyone can email me. But yeah, I've had a lot of people that'll say like, "Hey, I'm a big fan of your channel. That's why I decided to email you." Or they'll come in my live streams and then I'll say like, "Oh, hey, how'd you find the channel?" And then they'll say, "Well, I like this video." And I'll be like, "You didn't say that in the comments." So I've started to learn, don't expect people to flood your comments with positivity because it's just not going to happen. People are just too shy. I would say my audience is like 98% introverts, which is all right. It's just that when I want feedback for my work, they are not the first people I turn to. Usually it's my friends Danielle and Matt who are extroverts that are the ones who are just like about how great my streams are. And so I love having them in my life. It's possible that a friend that I just made might be coming to my live stream. Not the same friend as I mentioned last time, but someone should be here at some point. You found my channel before randomly. Oh, before random. Gotcha. Sorry, I'm a grammar Nazi. So sorry. Can't remember how long ago. I think I do remember hearing someone say that. I don't know if it was you, but yes, very, very strong practicing Catholic. I know my latest content hasn't exactly screamed Catholic, although my interview with Monica was. My first mission trip was a Catholic one. So if you watch that video, the one that has Monica's picture on it, that was very, very Catholic. And I do try to put like little undertones of Catholicism in my gaming videos. You just got to know where to look. Like in my pools review, for example, I was talking about the necessity of facing fears, which, the most repeated phrase in the Bible is do not be afraid. So if you knew that, you'd be like, oh, okay, I see what Paul did there. Then, yeah, well, thankfully I've quieted the meme so that's not going to happen anymore. But I'm at least very glad that you discovered me before the meme, unless if you just typed it wrong. But I had about 700 subscribers before that debacle happened. And then every subscriber since then, except for the people that showed up at these live streams, I've thought I didn't deserve it. And so I have this mindset, yes, a person discovered me before the meme. If I wasn't concerned about people being bothered by my brutality, I would pin that comment. You didn't know there was a meme. Oh, good, Kateri. I will, if it's okay with you, I think I'll let you stay ignorant because I don't even like mentioning that. But I will say, I had a couple of really nice comments that came from that time. It's just that they were like this much compared to this much of a whole lot of W-based cool vid. Like really, really boring stuff that like AI could write. I wanted thoughtful, intelligent. I wanted it to be like what you guys are doing right now. You're typing to me, you're sharing your thoughts, you're interrupting me from my blabbing. That's what I want. I don't want just click the like button and call it a day. Like, yes, I like likes, but I'm not going to ask for them. Oh, it's okay, Brian. I've only made a handful of videos talking about my thoughts on it, and it's possible you just didn't watch those videos. So it's completely all right. But I will say that I have had a couple of people say that they have, despite coming from the meme, they learned to appreciate the other stuff that I made after the fact. And that's what I wanted to hear as well, but I didn't actually have people verbalize those sentences. So for example, like that particular video, which will not be named, became my most watched video on my channel by a wide margin, by like a 4,000, was it 4,000? 40,000, by a 40,000 view ratio. And I just didn't get that same amount of love on like stuff that was objectively better, where like, you know, I have a capture card that can capture up to 1080p in footage, probably could do 4K. I just haven't figured out how to do that. Even if I could, my editor takes, I kid you not, my editor takes a literal day to process 4K footage. So that's why my reviews are all in 1080p. But like most people's reviews are in 1080p. Even the biggest YouTubers usually only do it in 1080p. So I'm up to the present standards. But that old video was in like 360 aspect ratio, and it had like my space heater on in the background, and it was objectively not a very good video from a quality perspective. But then I made other videos of a similar topic, and they didn't get the attention. So I just thought that people were being stupid, because it's like, why not watch the ones that are better? And then realize that I've made other videos that are better and more thought out and funnier and more me-ish. But yeah, that was the biggest problem I've ever had on this channel. But these live streams have been a great opportunity for me to really know that times have changed for the better. Sure, I may not get huge numbers at my live streams, but I'm not expecting huge. I'm expecting a good conversation. So if one person is here and we're all just engaging like we're friends, then that's good enough for me. Do I have a favorite video of mine? Yes, I do. My favorite video that I have ever made is my best game. Oh, it's a toss-up between two, actually. My best games of 2025 and my best games of 2024. I think the best games of 2024 is probably the most impressive on a technical level, because, well, it's not called that. It's called the top 10 most epic Switch games of 2024. That's the one where me and my editor at the time, we performed on a real stage with actual curtains, and we had like costumes for each game. There was a stand-up comedy routine at the end. I like rewrote the lyrics to A Whole New World from Aladdin and like made it sing out my love of my game of the year, which, mind you, I wrote those lyrics before the game came out. It was just based on my thoughts on the trailer. Oh, thank you, Brian. That means so much to me. I literally spent an entire year making that video. And then the best games of 2025 video, which again, same title, just now it says Switch 2 in addition to Switch, and of 2025 instead. That one, we weren't able to do the stage again, but there was a bit of a the opening and the ending were meant to be kind of like intertwined. Like once you saw the opening and then you watched the ending, you'd get a lot of really cool unintentional poetry, because that ending sequence was made at the last minute, and somehow it made the whole video so much better. Oh, that would be great if you watched it too, Kateri. Yeah, it's called, here, I'll type it in just in case you guys forgot. The top 10 most epic Switch games of 2024, featuring Isabel and Happier. Yes, so if you're on Twitch, there's a streamer named Happier, and she's a voice actor. And I commissioned her to do the voice of Goombella for a skit in that video. Isabel, she's another YouTuber who became my editor for about 3 years. She's not anymore, but she's really good at cosplaying, so she dressed up as a different character for every single game. And I'm just so proud of that video that I wish that was the one that went viral instead. because when you work on something for an entire year, like literally from like December of 2023 up to December of 2024. Hello, Bonnie. Sorry, I don't want to mispronounce it. So if you have a pronunciation guide, oh wait. Yes, it's Melissa. Oh, so glad to see you. Glad you could make it. How have you been doing lately? Is this your first time seeing my face, or well, you probably would have saw it on Facebook. This is probably your first time seeing me interact with my face, though. So there you go. Welcome in. How have you been doing lately? Still up for that phone call, though. So don't think that this is a replacement. Oh, okay. Okay. That's neat. First time live. Hey, you know what? The thing about my live streams is that not a whole lot of people show up to them, but the people that do show up usually have a really good time. And I like making sure that everyone feels included. So if you ever feel like someone is coming in and just hogging the conversation, just interrupt us. Like, we do it all the time. It's an expected thing. Like, we have someone that comes in where he only wants to talk about like video games and Cartoon Network. And oh, thank you, Melissa. I'm glad to hear it. But yeah, like he'll come in and he'll start talking about video games. And then someone else will come in and he'll start talking about like the church. And then someone else will come in and he'll start talking about Myers-Briggs. And it's just like we have just so many conversations going on at once. And I read every single thing you guys write. I don't always read it out, but I do see it. And I do try to respond to literally everything. So if you feel left out, I'm sorry. I'm literally giving it 99%. But one thing I will tell you, for those of you that are new, this water is my energy source when it comes to these live streams. As soon as this is gone, then I am gone. So if you see the cup getting down to like this much, that's your cue to get in the questions while you can, because I am going to oh, is something the matter, Brian? I'm not sure I get what the no is. By I am gone, I don't mean I'm gonna die. I mean, I believe I mentioned to you earlier today, Melissa, that I get tired of hearing the sound of my own voice, so that's why I have the water there. Hello, Karen, you welcome in. Karen, you got such a Karen, you got a really good crowd today. We got Brian, we got Melissa, we got Kateri, we got the big gang today. You like that idea? Start leaving functions. Yes, you can absolutely leave functions. That is so cool. Hey, you know what? Sometimes there have been a few people in these live streams that don't know what Myers-Briggs is. And so they like it when I explain things, because the feedback that I've gotten from the people that watch my Myers-Briggs videos are, you know how to put it into everyday people terms. Because most people who talk about Myers-Briggs, they say it in like this very abstract, like wispy kind of way. Whereas I like try to relate it to like, hey, think about it like a truck or something like that. All right, let's make sure I'm catching up with everyone here. You like my cup of water? Oh, thank you. I don't know if you saw the pattern on the front, but it says The Legend of Zelda. I have had this cup for so many years, I've lost track of it now. You can probably see like a bunch of spit grime all over it. Turn up to the function, drink everything, leave. I'm not sure I get the joke, but I don't know. I found it funny. So we got Von Folter. I hope I read that right. Welcome in. I don't recognize your name or your profile picture. So I'll ask the usual 2 questions. Favorite games, and how'd you find my channel, as well as how you're doing? What's been going on lately? Wait, did I misunderstand you, Melissa? Because I thought you meant cognitive functions. Because if turn up to the function, if Von Folter is saying something different, oh shoot, I hope I didn't misunderstand that. I am so uncultured, you guys. I am like one of the most old-fashioned people you will ever, ever, ever meet. Like, I'm so far behind. I still have this kind of phone. Talking about oh, okay, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, for I don't really like parties all that much. When I do go to parties, um I usually like stay closer to the side of the wall or wherever there's a couch, and usually will like single out one or two people to talk to. Thank you for coming, Brian. And thank you for saving my video to watch later. That like made my day, honestly. For those of you that came late, Brian asked a really good question. And then his response was so gratifying. He asked me which video on my channel I'm the most proud of. And I said, yes, see you later, Brian. Thank you so much. He said, oh, well, now that you've told me what video that is, I'm going to go save it to watch later. And so I'm going to go and give it a watch. So I just felt so honored because usually I am terrible at advertising. I am like the worst advertiser in the world. Yes, I love it, Melissa. It is so great. But oh boy, I am not used to seeing this many new faces. But I do really appreciate all of you. Car and you, I forgot to ask how you're doing. I'm so sorry. I just like Melissa hasn't been here yet, so I was trying to make a good impression, but then I didn't want to leave anyone behind, so I got a little jarbled in my words. But yeah, how are you doing lately? Any good games you've been playing? Did you see my pools review? Because you'd be surprised how popular that video is. I even have a girl that usually will only watch Myers-Briggs stuff that watched it. So I guess like people liked the idea of being like, we got to see you face your fears in that video. That is such a mind-blowing concept. But yes, Melissa, I don't think I told you this before. To be fair, we didn't excuse me. We didn't get much time to talk about personal details about ourselves, but I used to be terrified of the water. Not this kind of water. This I was fine with, but like showering, going swimming, that kind of stuff, I was terrified of it. And in around 2019, I got over my fear. And so now I'm trying to spread awareness of like how to get over fears. I have a video on my channel where I give like advice to other aquaphobes of like how they can overcome their fear. And so I'm just very grateful that God has helped me to get over that phobia. Doing all right? Not much new. Hey, you know what? Here's what I always tell people at the gym whenever they say, oh, not much new is going on, is I say sometimes you need to recharge with the ordinary so that you have enough energy for the extraordinary. Because I am the type of person that has a very ordinary life. But as a result, by the time that I do stop doing the same old, and socialize with people, I have so much energy. And that's why I can be so boisterous with you guys, because I spend so much time by myself and doing my own thing that it's like, I've heard introverts described as like a cell phone, that as long as a cell phone is charged, it has energy, but as soon as the battery depletes, it's useless. So this particular phone of mine is very energy efficient because I have battery saver on it. So I feel like my life is like this phone. It's a very battery saver efficient life where I really spread out my social time. But when I am social, I am going to talk your ear off. Unless if you have something else to say, because I don't like dominating the conversation. I don't like dominating it here, so please interrupt me if I am. Okay, I missed a couple of things. Thank you, Melissa. I really appreciate it. Helping others is my life's goal. You know some people who had that fear? Yes. Yes. Hey girl, welcome in. Sorry, I hope that wasn't flirtatious. That's your username. Do you have a nickname that you would like me to call you? Because some people in here have said, like, yeah, just call me this, or they'll say their real names. So if you have something you want me to call you besides hey girl, it doesn't have to be your real name. It can, I don't know, you could just say call me Violet if you want. But I just don't want to sound like I'm either flirting or insulting you. But anyway, how are you doing? I am doing wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I had someone come in chat earlier before you did that said he's going to save one of my videos to watch later. And it was the video that I was the most proud of. Hey, Kevin. Glad you could make it too. Man, we got so many good people in here. I mean, you all are good, but like, I'm not used to being this popular on my live streams, guys. You're really just so great. What's up is that I was offered a job opportunity. I unfortunately had to turn it down. I won't get into why, but I do have a job. I just don't really like talking about the details with people because people are surprisingly judgmental when it comes to talking about jobs, as I've learned. My friends are usually pretty good about it. But I will say that the job that I do have is assistant teaching because I am dreadful, absolutely dreadful at administrative stuff. Like, I cannot, um, oh, 1,000 in a single live stream? No way. No way. For me, I would consider an adequate crowd at my live streams to be like 8 or 10. I feel like if I were to hypothetically get 1,000 in one live stream, I'd feel bad that everyone would have to be fighting for each other's attention, and I wouldn't be able to read everyone's messages fast enough. Because if there's one thing I hate is if you guys feel ignored. I want every single person here to feel like they're included. So please pray that I don't get to that. Maybe if I get like 1,000 good, 1,000 good. I lost my train of thought. Let me see what the rest of you are saying. I did say enough that I was comfortable with Karen. I said I'm an assistant teacher. I'm just not going to get into other details about it. Besides that, it's for Sunday school, and I love teaching. I've done so many chaperoning opportunities that I just want to do more. Custodian? No, that's not what I meant. I don't know what I'm trying to say without giving away personal information, but my very first job was being a dishwasher, and I loved that job. I was planning on staying there the rest of my life, but then I moved here. My previous job that I had was I was a janitor, and someone literally was doing an interview with me. It was an ENTJ with the YouTube channel Mongolian Mindset, and he said, what is your dream job? And don't think about your personality type. Just think like, what would Paul like as a dream job? And I said, a janitor. And everyone in the chat, or not the chat, the comments were so surprised. They were like, who the heck wants a janitor as a dream job? And I said, works with my skill set. I'm the type of person that is a follower more than I am a leader. That's why I'm the assistant teacher and not the main teacher, because if I try to plan the lessons, I'm a nervous wreck. I'm going to think that I did a terrible job. If I'm the assistant, I can just chime in whenever I have something to add. You see it for me, though, having 1,000. Oh, man. Oh, that would be terrible. Or am I misreading you, Melissa? You said something very awesome about you. Sorry, I might need that to be rephrased. That's a good job. It's a pretty good job. Yeah, no, I really respect people that are cleaners. I might even go so far as to say I respect cleaners the most because not a whole lot of people want to be cleaners. They want to be on top of the corporate ladder. I want to be at the very bottom, and I am not ashamed of saying that in the slightest. Being a teacher, I'm the assistant teacher, so that makes it slightly easier to manage. Oh, hey girl, before I forget, and again, sorry if you don't like the way I said that, but I was really, really grateful that you made that comment on my pools video. I was not expecting that video to be as popular as it, like, I figured it would be somewhat popular, but I wasn't expecting people to comment on it. And the fact that you did, when I know that you're more like drawn to my Myers-Briggs stuff. Like, that meant a lot to me. So I hope that your internet didn't go out, and I hope you heard that. All right, let's see. Here we go. Sorry. Personality people would stop for? Is that a modern term, or like stop for? I'm sorry. English was my best subject in school, so I really struggle to learn like any slogan that wasn't like taught when I was a kid. But I think I know what you're talking about. You're saying that people would like to hear what I have to say. If so, I appreciate that. That means a lot. Giving value to society. Oh, absolutely. Like John Ratzenberger, I met him in 2023, and he asked each, because I was with two of my friends. He asked all of us what jobs we had. And when I said a janitor, he said, well, with that kind of skill set, you can get a job anywhere in the world. So I really felt glad about that, because for all you Myers-Briggs nerds in here, I think he had extroverted feelings somewhere in his function stat, because he was really trying to help us feel good in the practical sense. You respect cleaners? Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I got paid pretty terribly when I was a cleaner, but I loved almost every minute of it. Oh, good. I'm glad you heard what I said, hey girl. You used to have a best friend, known him for 5 years. He became toxic when he got his finance job. Money made him a narcissistic person. Yeah, that's why I currently have a decent amount of money, but not enough for like a mansion or anything like that. And I try my best not to spend it for the most part. But if I do spend it, I usually like to spend it on my friends to make sure that I can like be as reliable as possible. I mean, you're interesting, pleasant, and fun. People would like to. Oh, thank you, Melissa. That means a lot to me. I actually did have a couple of people say that at the gym, where they said like, "Hey, you bring such a positive atmosphere to the gym, and like it would be really terrible if you ever left." Because I tell myself whenever I go to the gym, never give myself a time limit. If people want to talk to me for an hour, I'll talk to them for an hour. I'll just take a very long nap afterward. A boiler's license. That is very cool, Kevin. Very, very cool. I do not have a boiler's license. I have a Mario Kart license. Does that count? So, since we have a lot of new people in here, I want you all to feel like you can introduce yourselves. So, to anyone who's here for the first time, a couple of starter questions I have for you are, first off, what's something about you that you're really proud of? Second off, do you like any video games? Third off, how'd you discover the channel? And if you can think of better questions than those, bring them on. Money can do that to people. I wouldn't say I'm rich, but I'm like, I don't know how to describe it because I'm not too good with like economics and politics. It's a bit too abstract for me, but I have a good amount of savings because I tend to try to get everything cheap. Like I'll rent games instead of buying them. I'll go to like local like McDonald's instead of high-end restaurants. And I'll just try my best to be very conservative with my money, not political conservative. That's a different discussion. And as a result, I end up getting a surplus whenever I do get paid so that I keep making a profit because I'm not just going to every cruise that I can. I don't think I have that much money, but I probably wouldn't go on a cruise even if I could, just because I have sensitive skin, so I'd need really good sunscreen. Studying for your boiler's license? Okay, well, good luck with that, Kevin. Very good. I hope that works out for you. Whew. Man, you guys are just great today. I love all the engagement that you guys are just you feel what am I trying to say? It seems like you all are comfortable expressing yourselves, and that's great. I love it. You found my channel through my You did say that, hey girl, but good for other people to know about it, because then they can go watch that video. You don't game? Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Hey, would you care to explain the origins of how you came up with Hey Girl? Because I you were actually the one that inspired me to make a live stream called The Origins, but only one person showed up and all that person said was sup the whole time. And I was so embarrassed that I deleted the whole thing. But I was hoping that you would show up specifically so that I could hear like what was the origin of that? Cuz that is a very interesting handle. Um As far as my origins, now that I actually have an audience that said more than sup, first off, my handle, EpicPaul64, was a play on words of Super Mario 64, which was the first game I ever owned. And the Catholic Gaming Nerd was a variation of my blog's name, which was the Catholic Nintendo Nerd. But I changed my name to Catholic Gaming Nerd in around 2021 because I was not too thrilled with what corporate Nintendo was up to. So I didn't want people to associate me with a company that was doing so many, I wouldn't say shady, but like just kind of rude, borderline evil. Again, in my religion, we're not supposed to judge, but that's why I said borderline, is because from my subjective perspective, it comes across as evil, but maybe God will say differently. I have thought about the idea of like if I were to have another channel name, what would it be? Probably just Paulism, but then I wouldn't get the Catholic part of it. Because you'd be surprised how many people come to my channel because they're like, ooh, a Catholic and a gamer. Whereas if I just said just Paulism, it would lose the Catholic element of it. But I probably won't change my username just because I'm not a good editor and I like my intro. You work with a bunch of boisterous coworkers, and that's how they talk to you because they're bad. That is very cool. That is amazing. My username or Hey Girls? I mean, I like all of your usernames. They are very nice. I hope I'm pronouncing yours right, Karen. You. I saw that I actually, Karen, you. There was one time that I was scrolling through my subscribers, and when I saw you, I tried to see like if you had anything on your channel, and apparently you have like deviant art or something like that, which I thought was kind of cool. Like that's neat that I have artists in my community. Oh, thank you, Melissa. I'm glad you like my username. You'd be surprised how many people refuse to believe that I am the gaming nerd, not the Nintendo nerd. To this day, there are still people that will make jokes about me being a Nintendo nerd, and heck, they don't even call me by my name. They'll just say like, "Hello, the Catholic Nintendo nerd," and I'll be like, "Don't I say, hey guys, this is Paul at the start of every single video? Were you not listening?" That's why I'm not a big fan of sheep. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, a sheep is a really stupid animal because it just follows the leader and does whatever the leader wants, even if the leader walks off a cliff. So I I try to say, think for yourself. Don't just do what everyone else does. Deviant art, very nice, Karen. You, I will try my best to look at that when I get a chance. Yes, hey girl. Well, not the last live stream I did, the one that I deleted before the last live stream. Yeah, someone came in, said sup, and then that was it. And I just said, I'm not keeping this up because I was like, I was about to cry actually because I tried asking the person, like, what's up with you, and never answered back. Oh, that's cool that you drew that, Karen. You very, very nice. Just curious, but like, is that drawing supposed to be you or is it supposed to just be like some random person? Because my profile picture is me. That's me about 2 years ago. On my birthday, actually. You want to own several sheep and make your own sweaters. That's a good one, Melissa. Very good. Oh, have a good one, Melissa. Thank you so much. And again, send me a message when you can, talking about our next phone call, because I don't want this to replace it. The character in your profile picture is actually for a webcomic. Okay, gotcha. Okay, still very, very nice. I actually know quite a lot of people who don't like making themselves as their profile picture. Like, there are people that I know that, like, I shouldn't say people, I'll say there's a person that I know who has a profile picture of Rosalina. He does not look like Rosalina in the slightest. He has really dark hair, he has a beard, he has glasses, and he's not even like Rosalina's build or height. But he likes aesthetics, he likes pretty costumes, so I think he figured Rosalina was just a really pretty girl, and he wanted everyone to know that he liked that kind of aesthetic. Hey, Jungle Running, glad you could show up. We've been having a blast, and I'm not sure how to summarize it. We've been having so much of a blast, but we've just been talking a little bit about the origins of like anything really. So actually, you were the second person I was thinking of besides Hey Girl. I wanted to know what the origin of people's usernames were. And I ended up deleting that live stream because only one person showed up and only said sup the whole time. And I really wanted to know, like, why do you guys have the names that you do? So I said that I called myself the Catholic Gaming Nerd because I used to be the Catholic Nintendo Nerd. That was a blog that I had that was failed. So I made it my channel name instead so that it could take over the blog. And Epic Paul 64 is a play on words of Super Mario 64 because that's the first game I ever owned. Try to make him look nice. Just an abstract woman. It still looks very nice, Karanu. It reminds me of another subscriber I have called Messy Art Desk. I don't know if there's a way for you guys to look at my subscribers, but I do have another girl. She's a Catholic too. That drew someone that looks surprisingly like your avatar, and it was that similar kind of color palette. So it was very reminiscent. Well, to be fair, Karanu, in this chat, your profile pictures are super small, so I would imagine that most people are probably misinterpreting most of what they're seeing. I think I had that problem on Discord one time where I thought someone was one thing for so long, and then I decided, hey, let's look at what the actual picture is, and it was something completely different. Alrighty, so I asked this at the beginning of the stream, and it didn't seem like most of you got what I was getting at, so let's see if maybe the newcomers know what I'm talking about. Are any of you guys interested? Ooh, let me answer this that Kevin said first, because that's a good question. Have I ever went to a shooting range? Yes, I have. But it wasn't for shotguns. It was for axe throwing, and I hated it. It was so loud. It was like my chest was pounding from the music. I had to shout to talk to the person next to me. I never want to go there again. But I have shot a rifle, but it was in a controlled setting where there was like a target set up. And the guy who gave it to me made sure that there was no one in earshot. But like, I've never went hunting. I've never even hunted for sport, but I did go to an axe throwing range, and I hated it. But it's fun to tell people at the very least, to say I got to go to a place where people threw axes at a target, even though I didn't like it. I'm the type of person that I like controlled environments. I don't really like big crowds. I don't really like concerts a whole lot. I tend to be more of a one-on-one kind of guy, which you might be thinking, well, wait, how do you do live streams? I read each of your comments as individual comments, and I talk to you as an individual. So that helps me to not get overwhelmed. So I think it was you, Kevin, when you joked around that I would get 1,000 viewers on this live stream, not for you, the idea that I would get 1,000 subscribers, it made me groan, because then I wouldn't be able to be personal to all of you guys, and that would make me very sad. Because I've always said that I want everyone on this channel to feel like I could be your best friend, hypothetically. Because that actually has happened to a couple of my commenters. Isabel, my former editor, she started out as just another commenter on my channel. And that led to us talking on Twitter, and that led to us talking on the phone, and that eventually led to us meeting up. And now we've met in person 3 times, and we have 2 more meetups scheduled this year. The next one is in April, and it's going to be the Easter week, and we don't have too much on the agenda, but still, it's going to be something. I can promise you guys, Isabel will return in some form on this channel, not as my editor, but she has agreed to be a guest in a handful of videos I'm going to be making. So you'll sort of get her back, in a manner of speaking. Oh, well, I do have 6,555 subscribers, so I definitely have beaten 1K in that respect. But if I ever do get 1,000 followers on these streams, I'm going to tell people, like, please don't feel bad if I leave you out. Because I don't like feeling left out. I've been an outcast my entire life. Even now that I've overcome quite a lot, I have never, ever, ever, even once in my life, ever felt like I fit in anywhere. But I've gotten to the point where I like it like that. All right, sorry, Jungle Run, and let me read your comment. Your name is kind of a mix between the song Bubbles Buried in This Jungle and a music video by the same band where the lead singer runs through the desert. Hey, that's cool. I like that. That's very nice. I love it when people like make their usernames based off of like something that they like. Because like for me, my biggest passion is Catholicism and gaming. I know people have sometimes questioned like why I do Myers-Briggs videos despite Myers-Briggs not being in the name. And that's because I thought it would be funny if I made a video talking about INFJs, and that ended up being so popular that people wanted me to do more of it. But then I kind of started getting tired of talking about Myers-Briggs just because the Switch 2 came out, and I really wanted people to like the games on it. I'll still talk about Myers-Briggs in these live streams if you guys want me to, and I'll still do collabs with like Hey Girl said, like Some Call Me John, Mongolian Mindset, Rational Typology. Some of these guys have changed their names, but I'll absolutely be open to any kind of interview. The mindset you have is, I'll form this sentence, and if the streamer reads it, that's cool. If they don't, that's okay. Yeah, but I'm not going to feel good about that, Karinyu. I'm going to feel like, wait, what? I missed Karinyu's sentence? That's terrible. So, yeah, I hope my live streams don't do too well. Am I doing Lent? Yes, I am. What am I giving up? It's a complicated answer, because I once went to a priest and he said, whatever you're doing for Lent, don't ever give up something that is going to be in disservice to a friend. So for example, if like say a married man gives up watching TV and that makes his wife uncomfortable because they like to watch TV in the afternoons, it would be bad for that because he's making her miserable by one of his sacrifices. So I told myself that this year during Lent, the only YouTube videos I'm going to watch are those that my friends made. So the original plan was that I was going to give up YouTube. But then I said, you know what? There are people that really could use the views and the engagement. So I decided that I would find out which of my friends have YouTube videos. And I even like went through all of my subscribers. Well, not all of them. I have so many. I picked some of my subscribers and I picked out ones that had at least 4 subscribers, and then I, like, watched their videos to try to see, like, "Okay, what are you guys up to?" And then I found, like Ty the One Up guy, for example, he's my favorite YouTuber at present. I decided I was just gonna binge all of his videos because he's a good friend of mine, and I know that he would love more support. And I just said, "Hey, I'm gonna hope that my views are gonna boost his algorithm." So, giving up, like, big big name YouTube videos and watching more of small YouTube videos. More what I meant is, hold on, those really big streams, it's pretty much impossible for them to read every single message. Yeah, that's not me. I don't like making people feel left out. People often said that I have too much time on my hands because I respond to every comment I get. That includes you, hey girl. I hope you saw my comment to your comment on my pools video, because you'd be surprised how many people don't realize that I responded to them. But I did. So look it up when you get a chance. I have a smaller audience so you can read and pay attention feasibly. If it seems like I'm not paying attention, it's because I don't want to lose my train of thought. Oh, you're quite welcome, hey girl. I like you calling me Epic Paul. That is really nice. I really like that. You're not the first person to do that, though. I have a friend of mine named Matt. You might have seen him on my channel a few times. He's the one that composed Paul's Epic theme, which is the music that plays as my videos are reaching their conclusion. He composed that for my Game of the Year of 2023, and I loved it so much I made it the theme song of my channel. And this last year, I did an interview with him because I wanted to know the creative process behind how he composed the music. And one of the things he said in that interview was, "There is no epic music without Epic Paul." So you're not the first, but it is something that I like hearing, because when I was quite a bit younger, I used to say the word epic all the time. And even to this day, I'll usually say, like, "Do you guys have any epic news?" Because I hated it, absolutely hated it at my old job when people would ask, "Oh, hey, Paul, how are you doing?" And I'd open my mouth to say something and then they'd walk away. Or, like, I'd ask people how they were doing and they would just say good and then walk away. So I got so tired of people not elaborating that I said, I'm going to change up the question. I'm going to ask people, "What is your good news?" So that they actually have to think. And then they can say, like, "Okay, I do actually have some good news." It also, I feel like it's good for introverts because introverts don't usually like initiating conversations. So if I give them permission to say, "Ooh, I have something to blab about," then they feel more at ease, because I myself am an introvert, a very talkative one, but still, I do like it when people, like, say something to me first. So I figured if that's what I like people to do to me, then I should do that to them, just as the Golden Rule teaches. Is that supposed to be your listening car in you, or you're eating really good food? Honestly, I may have to stop pretty soon if dinner comes, but I will try to stream as long as possible, at least until my cup runs out. What was I saying before that? Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. Sweet potato fries. I used to like sweet potato fries, but then I started having them too much, which normally I'm not the type of person that minds repetition. Like, I've been eating the same cereal for, like, so long now. It's ridiculous. Um, but with sweet potato fries, there's something about them that it's like, it's cool if you get them when you're not expecting them, but if you're having them, like, all the time, they start to get really old. What is my favorite cereal? Cocoa Rice. Specifically the off-brand kind, because I feel like that has just a tiny little bit less sugar. I'm trying my best to, like, how do I word this? Obviously, I'm a bit of a health nut if I'm always talking about the gym, but I don't pretend to be the healthiest eater in the world, but what I try to do is I try to have limited amounts of sugar. So, like, yes, do I have a chocolate every day? But it's like this big of a chocolate every day. Like that kind of stuff. Or like the one dessert I will have a lot of is ice cream because it has a lot of protein. So like I'll pick and choose my battles and I'll say like, okay, if something is just like really, really sweet, like say not a parfait, what's it called? Like say a banana split. I would keep track of the last time I had something really sweet and say like, okay, it's been 2 weeks. So I think I'm okay if I have a banana split. So like a lot of discipline in my life, but not as much discipline as I'd like. You have to go with the budget after all. Is that a hamster or someone knocking on your door? I think my sister was just shutting her bathroom door. But my house's walls are ridiculously thin. Like you can hear everyone. I'm pretty sure my family can hear what I'm saying too. I don't have a hamster. So, nope, it would not be a hamster. I don't think I've ever had a hamster. In fact, I don't think I've ever had any pets. My sister has, but not me. My sister has had a guinea pig before, surprisingly. I think she had 3 at one point. We still have a fake guinea pig up there that we used to startle the guinea pigs, and they really liked it. Or they didn't like it. Here's the thing about guinea pigs. Male guinea pigs are very cute. They'll usually like climb up the cage because they really want to be held and cuddled. The female ones are as snooty as heck. They do not give a darn about you unless if you're carrying food. If you're carrying food, then they'll climb on the stage and they'll like go because they want the food. But as soon as they have the food in their mouth, they're just zeroing in on that food. And if like say you don't come up to them with food, they'll like squeak so loudly. But then if you try to pick them up, they'll like run as if you're about to murder them. So, and my sister unfortunately only had female guinea pigs. So I never got that opportunity of having the super outgoing male. I called them gerbils. I don't know why. But yeah, it just seems like in the animal kingdom, like gender differences are way more pronounced than they are in the human kingdom. Like, sure, there are some obvious physiological differences in male and female in the human world, but like in terms of personality, there's almost no absolutes. Like, sure, you could argue most men are more logical, but that's not to say there aren't logical women out there. Whereas in the animal kingdom, there are certain behaviors that you just will not see animals of that gender doing. Like, you typically won't see male lions do the hunting. That's more of what the females do. And you typically like will not see females in the peacock family strutting around showing their tail feathers because it's the males that have the big tail feathers. Dogs, same thing. Like you'll never get a male dog just sitting and squatting to go to the bathroom. That's what the females do. Like male dogs just have this instinct to want to put up their leg. Whereas I think like with humans, there are certain things where like some people in the genders will just put their foot down and say, I am different than that. Like I'm sure there are lots of things that like maybe 90% of guys will do, but there will be some guys that do it differently. And that's what I like about humanity is that we're aware of our own existence and we're aware that we don't have to go by instinct, that we can deny our gender's impulses and just do our own thing. So like if you're a girl and you're logical, like good for you. I'm not going to shame that. If you're a girl that I don't know, plays football, I personally don't watch sports, but I think that would be admirable because if I were to play football, I'd probably fall down and not get back up. I know my sister is a really strong person, and when she was like 9, she could pin me to the ground, and I always admire that about her because like I don't think most women like being muscular, so it's nice to have a bit of the exception around me. But yeah, one thing I've been trying to do lately is I've been trying to promote like gender equality, but not like SJW gender equality, more of just like how do I word it without coming across political? Okay. Sorry guys, I'm going to have to wrap it up. Dinner's almost ready and, got to make sure I'm not bothering my family. So, um thank you all so much for showing up. I really appreciated all of you. Um, I won't do the usual thanking everyone by name just because I'm in a hurry right now, but just know that I do value each and every one of you. You all have a wonderful day. Um, I will live stream whenever I can. I'm sorry it's inconsistent. And I hope you all remember to keep the faith, stay epic, and God bless. Bye.